Hi, my name is Steven.
It is I, Kevin.
And I am David, the eldest champion.
And we are the Brothers Born.
We invite you to bear witness as this most unlikely of throwdowns is about to commence.
Dave, can you explain yourself again? Well, Kevin missed that.
I'm ready to judge all fools.
What's going on with what you're wearing, man? I need to know. Review that again.
For sure, what is going on with that?
What isn't going on is what I'm asking.
You got like an airplane neck pillow thing going on?
Dude, I slept on my neck in a weird way, and now I'm in pain. More pain than I've ever been in, except the a couple times I had kidney stones.
I've done that before. It is pretty awful.
And I'm as cold in here because I get banished to the mudroom to record. So I'm sitting on a freaking stuffed horse that my daughter used to have in her bedroom, wearing a blanket and neck brace. Is there a problem with that?
Yes.
I am actually
stuffed horse.
I am this is commitment to the Brothers Born cause right here. So I appreciate it, Dave.
As long as he doesn't have to wake up before he wants to, it's commitment.
Fools. I woke up with my alarm today.
Dave is saying, I woke up like this. That's what he's saying right now. Oh man. This is great.
Are you guys ready or what? Are you done making fun of me? Because I have the power today. I'll remember this.
Yes, I am done making fun of you for now.
Just because you guys live in tropical climates.
Kevin lives in the desert, man.
I'm in the desert. It's not tropical. It's actually been getting pretty cold sometimes.
Just because you guys live in cold weather tundras. I mean, because I live in a cold. Shut up. It's my turn to judge.
There's my tag for the end of the episode. Shut up. It's my turn to judge. All right. So why don't we start the episode, Dave?
Welcome back to Unlikely Throwdowns. Today, I'm the judge. I can once again call myself the eldest champion because lately all I do is win, no matter what. That's what I do. So today I can win either way when I'm judging between these two fools that are making fun of me because I have a sore neck this morning. So, welcome back, Kevin, Steven. Would either of you like to volunteer to go first, or should you leave that up to my decision?
I'll go first.
Okay, go.
So, my character made her debut first in a short story.
It's a woman.
And then shortly after in a 1961 film. She has since been in, I think I counted 12 movies, maybe a little bit more. It's about 12. She is a guardian of earth and nature. She is an immortal deity, though sometimes humans do not recognize her as that. Since she cannot speak English, she communicates to humans via two miniature priestesses called the Shobjin. I might have said that wrong. In the first iteration of her translators, these two miniature priestesses, they're like this big. Like
just Mothra.
Tall. It is Mothra.
Dude, I was going to pick Mothra.
For those of you who don't remember, the stipulation this week was the character had to have the ability of flight.
Yes.
All right. Are we talking Mothra like giant monster Mothra?
Yes.
That's so funny. That's weird because I was going to pick Mothra and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Dude, I don't know anything about Mothra.
So let me tell you just a little bit more about Mothra. So
you guys act like I'm a nerd like you two.
I've never watched any Mothra movies. I'm gonna be honest. So any of our diehard Kaiju fans, sorry, I might butcher this, but
I was just expecting like Superman versus I don't know versus Iron Man.
Wait do you see what I got going on, Dave? No, I'm a little disappointed because I might lose again now.
So Mothra, in the first movie, I guess that's a little background. Her little translator priestess ladies were kidnapped by a greedy entrepreneur named Clark Nelson. And so after that incident, she hatched from her egg in the larva state, and she's from Infant Island. And
Dude, you already have me lost.
in her larva state, she swam to Tokyo, and she builds a giant cocoon on Tokyo Tower, then finally hatches into the final form of a
What happened
giant
to her
moth.
translators again?
A giant moth. They were kidnapped by a greedy entrepreneur.
I
And
see. That makes
this
sense.
is just the first film. There's been times she's got like the hero of the monster universe. Like Godzilla is like sometimes good, sometimes bad. King Ghidorah is always bad, but Mothra is like she protects people. She
What
like
about King
loves.
Kong?
He's
the
like
American
he's
version.
good or bad. I
Well,
think he's misunderstood, but
Yeah, but
Mothra
he
is
doesn't
like
really count because King Kong's American. It's not. He was
he's
not
in
part of their.
Then he counts more than any of them.
In terms of Godzilla and
Oh,
the
okay.
Kaiju, he doesn't.
All right. I
But
couldn't hear you over the sound of my freedom. Sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, Mothra is kind of like the hero of the big monster universe. And King Kong is sort of, I mean, I think old school he wasn't really involved, but there's been plenty of crossover with him and Godzilla, and I think even Mothra too. There's a TV show I just found out called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters that apparently has a bunch of monsters in it. I don't really know much about it, but she's been fighting for humans. Sometimes she has destroyed Tokyo. Because I mean she's a big monster. You can't help yourself. But that is Mothra. I'm really excited to see how she performs today.
So she hatched on top of a giant building.
Well, first she busted out into her larva state, hatched from an egg into her larva state, and then her larva state does have some powers, but her ultimate powers come after she hatches out of the cocoon. So after larva, she builds a cocoon and becomes a giant moth, and that's Mothra proper.
Okay. All right, Kevin.
I'm a
This.
little disappointed by this because I've been on a mad losing streak lately, and I don't know if you can contend with Mothra. It's a giant moth.
Both of you guys
I'll do
have
my
been on
best.
losing streaks, but go ahead.
Because I am excited for this character. All right, so first of all, my first clue is that regardless of who Steven would have picked, probably would have made this the most likely of the unlikely throwdowns, and I'll explain that later. So my character is a mysterious entity of unknown origin, but is thought to be a divine being who likely created a world in which he brings others to fight for his amusement. He wears garments that are all white and completely these garments completely cover his physical form, so nobody knows what he looks like underneath the white garments. He's also known to have a penchant for collecting trophies, often related that are representative of the various heroes that he brings into this world, heroes and villains that brings this world to fight forcefully. Approximately about 18 feet tall and 8 inches tall. It's hard to really determine.
Big dude.
Seems like a big dude.
Has a level of power that borders absolute and godlike. See any thoughts?
God versus goddess here. So
kind of, and there's not a lot on his background.
Okay, is he from the Marvel universe? He
is not from the Marvel universe.
Is he from Star Wars universe?
Not from the Star Wars universe. He creates this world and he brings other heroes and villains from various properties or universes into his own to fight.
So he's doing what I'm doing right now.
But he's David.
Yes.
So some of these heroes that he's brought in have come from various video game franchises, from Sega, from Nintendo, from Square Enix.
I don't know, dude.
Steven, you can't figure this one out?
Is it a TV show or a video game?
No, it's a video game. Character.
Oh, yeah, I know who this is. It's the giant hand guy.
The Master Hand, yes.
In Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
He's the last boss in Super Smash. He's a giant hand. He can fly.
Yeah, he flies.
And he flicks people. Oh, man. The Master Hand versus Mothra. That is kind of unlikely, but I see what you mean because of Super Smash Brothers. Like, he basically brings all the characters together, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
so interesting. Exactly. This will be Dave, are you familiar with Master Hand?
No, I stink at Super Smash Brothers. I'm the first one to die every time. So if he's some sort of boss character, I never came close to getting to him.
Man, he walks around like this, like on 2 fingers.
He flies around.
All
He's
my
a giant.
kids beat me.
He's a giant disembodied hand.
Every one of my kids beat me in that game, even the little ones. I haven't played it in a few years. Oh, okay, let's go. Who's gonna? So before we get into this too much, sorry, I'm just, sitting here listening to two characters I don't know anything about. So before we get into this battle, maybe we should take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, so you can get familiar with the characters, if that makes sense.
Yes, of course. Not so I can whine because of how bad my neck hurts right now. So we'll be right back.
A wise man once said, "Cash rules everything around me. It's all about the money. Dollar bills, y'all." Now, the Brothers Born are definitely not part of the Wu-Tang Clan. But the sentiment, well, it's still true. When it comes down to it, making content that we do can have some costs when it comes to equipment and certain fees. This is where you come in as a listener. No obligation here, but if you do like what we have and you would like to contribute a little bit of funds our way so we can improve our content, there's 3 different tiers of payment which you can use. The first one is a simple, cheap tier of 99 cents. Not too bad. Next tier would be $4.99, or if you're straight ballin', $9.99 for the third tier. Now, there's no obligation here. We're going to do the content either way, but we definitely would appreciate a little help. Thank you in advance, and we look forward to providing more content for you.
Welcome back. That was a good impression of Steven, right?
No,
Sure, man.
You gotta be like, "Welcome back."
That's what I did. That's what I did. All right, so we got this battle going on between this giant hand dude and this moth character. And normally, like, couldn't the hand just flick away the moth? I just realized how this is going to turn out. So I think Kevin wins.
Hold
All
on.
right, what are we doing next time for Unlikely Throwdowns?
Mothra
The hand
is
can just go
big though,
to
dude.
the moth, right?
What's that?
Or smash it. The hand could just smash the moth, like.
If she was an ordinary moth, but they're not talking about your like moth.
All right, well,
the...
do tell me, Steven, how some of the powers which she possesses and how she would come in handy during this battle.
So Mothra is a big, huge moth. Let me find out exactly how big she is.
Bigger than 18 feet and 8 inches, which is big for a hand, but
So according to this really quick Google search, Mothra is 180 meters in length and a wingspan of 250 meters, and she weighs about 20,000 tons.
Dude, the meter thing. I told you earlier, I can't hear you because of my freedom. I'm American. I need to know inches and feet.
Meters are just a little bit longer than a yard. So
Meters are a little bit longer than this too. I do know that.
no, like this is much more than a yard.
Oh, okay. So she's 180. So she's the size of a 1.5 football.
She fights Godzilla, bro. That's how you can put it. She's big enough to fight Godzilla. So
Okay, I'm gonna write 1.5 football fields.
it might be more than that, honestly.
A football field is 100 yards long. 2 of them are 200 yards long. If a meter, okay, I got it in my mind. Don't worry.
Okay,
Go ahead.
big. She's a big old moth.
Nice.
Wingspan like 250
Bigger
meters.
Bigger than 18 feet, even though 18 feet was impressive till I just heard this. But go ahead.
So she got lots of abilities. I'll go through a couple of those real quick. She's got an abdominal stinger. It's powerful enough to pierce through geothermal armor of Rodan, which is the giant turtle she fights. And it's good for close range combat. It's a giant stinger. Think of a giant insect stinger. Because even though she's a moth, she's not exactly like a moth. She's just a big flying insect. But because moths, I don't think have pincers, but she does. She's very durable, and she can, she will fight. She's pretty durable, and she doesn't really, kind of like a Captain America. She just keeps going. She keeps going. She won't back down.
She can do this all day.
She could do this all day.
Okay.
In fact, there's one time King Ghidorah, I forgot which movie it was attacking Tokyo, because that's just the place. It's like in America, all the superhero things happen in New York. And in Japan, it's always Tokyo. Giant monsters love Tokyo.
That makes sense.
So, anyways, King Ghidorah was attacking, and she tried recruiting Godzilla to help her fight King Ghidorah. Godzilla's like, nah, dude, I don't need to do that. But she goes in her larva state by herself to fight King Ghidorah, which is a 3-headed dragon, by the way. So She's got a lot of courage.
I thought you said
sure.
he was a giant turtle.
No, that's Rodan. King
I know.
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is okay. You got to get your monsters straight, Dave.
All right. So anyway, she can go back and forth from larva state to adult state.
Not back and forth. Once she hatches, she's a moth, but her larva state does still have some powers. It has like energy beams that can fire out of her mouth.
Does she still have those when she's in adult state? Those same
yes,
powers?
yes, she does. She has God rays.
Oh man.
So
God rays?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about, the laser beam. So in her larva form and in her moth form, she can emit beta wave bioluminescence that can be projected through the patterns of her wings.
Beta is not quite as good as alpha, right? Because alpha comes first.
She can communicate with these rays, and she can weaponize them to create brilliant, near blinding, according to this wiki article, God rays of blue light or angelic-looking golden white light. So she like has laser beams, basically, big old laser beams to come. They're called God
my
rays.
character doesn't have a face or eyes, so I don't have to worry about him getting blind.
That's true. Good point.
These rays are powerful enough to instantly disperse storm clouds, produce mighty winds, and electronics and things nearby are damaged. So from these rays, they'll like kind of interfere.
Well, in Tokyo, there's a lot of electronics. Did you say electronics are damaged?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it fizzes them out. And
gotcha. So it fries the motherboard.
Yes. And so if you're playing a Nintendo with Mr. Master Hand, done, dude.
That's true.
Just cook that thing.
That's a good point. That is a good point. But we aren't playing in the Nintendo console version. Like these characters have escaped their video game consoles.
So
but I'll remember that.
Her wings, she can create like hurricane level winds and like to blow and she blows cars and buildings over with her hurricane wings. It's not called hurricane wings, but there's really massive, can make some pretty big winds with that. And I've gone over a lot of abilities. I think I'm gonna just pause there. And
all right, let's toss that baton over. Why don't you blow it over towards with your wings? Blow it over towards that.
Yes. Flap my wings over to you.
I remember. She's like Captain America, Kevin, so you gotta convince me.
Captain America would have fought against the Japanese back in his creation. So if anything, you should be angry about that.
Wait, though, I got a point to make though. The Japanese created both of these characters, correct?
Oh, they did. Master Hand and Mothra. Yeah.
I wonder why they're so cool. All right, go ahead.
Anyway.
I remember that they might have similar creators.
I don't know what's going on with Dave today.
He's on fire, man.
It's true. They're both created by the Japanese. What do you want? Just tell me about the giant Master Hand, whatever his name is.
So the Master Hand, like I said before, his level of power border is absolute and godlike. His power increases the angrier he gets, like the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, you touched on another one of my favorite characters.
Now, most of my characters' attacks are physical in nature, basically punches and slaps. But it does have a couple of other abilities that are.
I do like a good slap.
that are not related to punches and slaps.
Okay.
I've got a huge list of abilities that he's shown in the games. That doesn't mean that he's restricted those abilities because we don't know what other abilities he might have. But just going by the ones that I've seen. So let me get some of these. Let me get some of these out of here. The more physical ones. I'll go first. He's got what's the floor slap. So he moves back and forth in like a sweeping motion, just knocking everything out of the way. He's got his big swipe. It's essentially just a really huge slap. The flying slap, which is an even huger slap because he gets some flight going and whoosh, slaps him right across the face or whatever.
Slaps, these are nice. Keep going.
Dual poke. Actually, it could also be triple poke. It's like either one. Triple. So he goes up and he uses his giant fingers to like forcefully poke 2 or 3 times the enemy.
That would be annoying.
Each poke is more powerful than the other.
So it's like poke. Like starts off, gets louder, like a crescendo of pokes.
The crescendo of pokes for sure.
Dave, this is what I mean. You always ask me why I always put you as the last line at the end of the episode is because of stuff like crescendo of pokes, man. Like Kevin and I can't come up with that.
I have to put it into my musical training when I don't know anything about these two characters.
A
but-
crescendo of pokes, yes.
So he also has called a fake out slap, where it forms a fist that flies above the enemy, then it opens up its hands and slaps downward on the ground with enough force to bury them into the ground.
Oh, that is frightening.
Okay, wait.
similar-
I'm gonna
Similar to that,
Just
he's got
tell
he's
me
got
more
the-
abilities. I just have one question. Then I'm sorry. What is the biggest character he's ever done any of these moves to? I'm not saying that he couldn't do it to a big character. I'm just curious. Like Bowser, King Kong, who?
I mean, I guess Bowser
Bowser,
Okay.
probably.
or Ridley. Ridley's
But
pretty
these
big.
moves that you're talking about, they can pretty much take care of Bowser pretty easily, right?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Proceed.
The
Trying to
finger
get a scale
drill.
in my head.
You got the finger drill. He goes down. He turns his hands into like a drill kind of shape and drills down on the person.
Oh, that might have some effect. Oh, the arm. Okay, keep going.
And then there's the finger walk, where he just walks across the floor with his fingers. Then he like uses his finger to like flick, kind of. It's a furious flick though. It's like like crazy.
How is it?
Serious.
How is it again? Cha cha ba ba.
All right. What else? There's like a bunch of these, just so you guys know. So I'm gonna go through a few of them, and then
I
the
have a few
flying
more things,
punch.
too.
I think we already went through a few of them, but keep going. Flying punch, that might
Yeah.
do some damage. Okay.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It makes a fist and it flies and hits you.
Oh,
The
nice.
power punch, which flies above the opponent and punches down with electrical effects. So not only
Ooh,
punching them, but you
electrical
electrocute him at the same
effects.
time. He's got the side punch. It's basically a hook punch. Comes in.
I would like to see this character in a boxing match, just with a regular boxer.
His vertical throw, so he can throw up. He'll grab an opponent and he can throw him into the ground. He also has the toss grab. This one might be a little hard for Mothra, but he goes up and he like squeezes the enemy
Oh,
and then he throws
yeah.
him.
I remember that. I do remember that.
And then he
What's
also
that
has
one called?
he has the squeeze, which is he goes and scrapes the energy 3 times. Each squeeze more powerful than the other.
Just like
Yes.
before with the pokes.
Yeah. And then he has his,
A crescendo of
sleeper grab.
squeezes.
Yes.
He's got his sleeper grab, which is he grabs the enemy and squeezes them so hard that they fall asleep.
Oh man.
Those are his like more physical attacks. He's got some ranged attacks too, but I'll switch it. But go back to Steven here because he said he had some other abilities he went in.
All right. Physical attacks,
Okay.
a lot of punches, a lot of slaps. But guess what? Mothra's front and middle legs possess like pointed blade-like fingertips things, like praying mantis style. So she can like slice and dice you as you do your punches. She also has like a sensitivity and heightened awareness of like Earth's weather and atmospheric and tectonic movements. So if earthquakes
She
come,
can control it, or she just is aware of it.
she's aware of it. She's like in tune with the Earth, if you will. I mean, she's a guardian of the Earth. She protects it. So
Even though she kills everybody on the earth.
never intentional, only when they kidnap her priestesses. This next ability, in her larva form and in her moth form, she can fire short like little bits of silk, kind of like spider-like silk from her from her mandibles. It's
What now?
from her mandibles, her little like clicker things that bugs have. She fires the silk,
I
and it
thought
can
those are called claws.
on
or
their mouth,
pinchers.
bro, like the
Oh, on their mouth. Okay.
yeah, not like her fingers. Anyway, she can fire the silk, and it can immobilize people, and also it can even immobilize some of the giant monsters like King Ghidorah, and she's used that to like kind of like spider silk. You wrap it around.
She could probably
constricts them.
immobilize a hand too. Yeah.
Yes, she could. I would say she could throw some silk around that bad boy, and the pokes. No, dude, he's got it restrict him for sure.
I'm sure you could do some ripping too, though, with ripping of the silk, or pulling.
Yeah, I think I have some things that could counteract that a little bit.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
She is very
Oh,
fast and
my
has some pretty significant agility. She is very strong, depending on what stage of life she's in. But even in her larval form, she is very powerful. She uses her mandibles for combat, and she's just big. So even just running into things can destroy things. This isn't. I know we can't bring in resources, but there are some situations where her and Godzilla have like this symbiotic relationship. and they could share their life force to attack in a battle. I don't think I need to necessarily bring that up purely because
is Master Hand a right hand or a left hand?
oh yeah, I don't know.
I believe it's a right hand.
Does
However,
he have
like
a symbiotic relationship with the other hand?
he does actually, and
He does?
there's Master Hand, and then there's Crazy Hand in some of the games where it's the left hand version, and the two
Okay.
work together to fight.
Hold
But
on.
Oh,
I
but
didn't
I
mean to
didn't
interrupt.
bring Crazy Hand into this mix because we're only using one character.
yeah.
Okay, so he has that there. Like it's okay. I just wanted to see if there's another hand, basically.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Steven.
Oh, yeah, cool. You're cool. And she can telepathically connect with people who are like her worshippers or those that she trusts. Like for example, her priestesses. And she has thermal vision. So it's something where she can sense thermal radiation, and this is more in her larval form, but she can use that. So those are some abilities I have. Lots of things to think about there.
Yes, that does give you some things to ponder.
Yes. So I'll give it back to Kevin. Finish up your abilities.
So I'm gonna go into to there's melee abilities, I guess you could say. So the first one is David, you'll like this one. The finger bullet. He turns into a finger gun and he shoots up to 3 bullet bills out of it.
Do they get more powerful each one?
Bullet bills are always some of my favorite. Are they crescendo bullet bills? I think Steven.
They're not crescendo bullet bills, but you can shoot up to 3 of them. Dude, a giant finger gun. That's all I'm saying.
Does that cause him injury? Like, does that make him into a weakened state because it's ripping up his fingers?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. He also has what's called a jet stream, where he turns into like a kind of an airplane shape, and he goes flying into his opponent. However, if the opponent is within close proximity when he takes off, they'll get burned by fire from the jet stream that he produces. As far as Silk,
I hate fighting freaking Master Hand in the game. I mean, he's always annoying.
As far as your Silk, I got something for you.
Oh yeah,
laser nails.
Ooh.
So he shoots laser beams out of all 5 of his fingertips.
Oh, I remember that thing. It goes like shh, like it looks like I hate that. Yeah, I remember that in the game.
He's also has the fireball blitz. He creates a large fireball and then he squeezes it really tight, which causes it to break into smaller fireballs and they just like kind of scatter everywhere.
The fireball blitz sounds like a sick dance move that they did in like swing days.
He's got the icy wind, where he flaps his hand. It causes giant gusts of wind, shooting out ice projectiles that freeze the enemy on impact.
Like those little one-handed clap things we used to do.
But does that cause hurricane level winds though? It does not. Just saying.
It doesn't.
But it shoots ice projectiles that freeze the enemy at impact.
Yeah, but we'll have to just blow those ice things right away.
Steven, I get. I'm thinking of all these defenses as well, but I'm going to let Kevin proceed.
Okay.
He has what's called the platform dealer, where he tosses out these like large platforms that raise to the ground. They drag the enemy with them. I don't know how that would help the Mothra, but they're pretty cool. Mothra gets stuck on a little platform
that Mario like steps on. He makes one. He drags someone away with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. He's got the snapper.
Snapper.
That's when he snaps his fingers and he creates an energy. He creates an energy blast with both damage and stun the enemy. He's got the energy shot, which flies off in the distance and throws 3 to 5 fireballs. Then returns with a flying punch.
A combo of powers.
Combo, yep.
He's
got what's called, I think I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, the Kenzan. Weird. So he drags fingers across the ground like if you were like drawing across it, and he creates spikes that sprout out from the trail that he draws.
And I wish I had that power. That'd be so sweet. Some guy takes me off on the road, just draw some spikes on the road.
He also has paintball, where he creates and throws these large balls of ink covering the enemy and temporarily blinding them. He has a reflective satellite cannon, so he conjures up a series of.
Go ahead.
He conjures up a series of mirrors and he shoots laser beams at them, and they just go all over the place because they bounce off all these different mirrors.
So here's my thing. If he does all these things to people, why do people agree to be in his tournament? Because even if they
don't,
win,
he brings them in by force. He brings them in by force.
Sure, I'll come get smacked around by a giant hand. I don't understand.
Dude, all right, hold on. A quick sidebar.
He forcibly gathers them there, or they choose to.
No, he gathers them.
Oh, because he can just go around and pick them up from. Okay.
Yeah. He creates his world for the sole purpose of bringing in heroes and villains to fight
Has
for
there
his
ever
own
been a time
amusement.
where he's trying to pick up a hero, like maybe Mario, and he's starting to grab him? Mario sees the giant hand, he's like, "Mamma mia!" and he tries to run away from it, but it doesn't
Probably,
matter.
I don't know.
Grabs it, or Luigi, oh, and grabs it and runs away, because that'd be pretty funny. And also, this hand, like Link, this hand can grab characters such as Link and Bowser, and all these other characters are pretty powerful. The hand can grab it without the characters doing anything to stop the hand from grabbing them.
You
Yes.
can dodge them. You can like jump out of the way.
Mamma mia! Okay.
All
Well,
right,
he
I've got a couple more
some
here.
powerful characters in there. If he's able to just get them to the tournament, to me that shows a lot of power just being able to do that.
I've got three
never-
more.
Especially the recent versions of Smash Brothers, how they have all those characters in it. But
Mothra has never been in a tournament of his, though.
That's
So,
true.
go ahead, I'm
Um,
sorry.
So next one I have Chakram, which he just throws two really large, like these really huge rings. He has the iron ball roll. So he underhand throws a spiked ball that rolls and bounces towards the enemy. And then he can teleport. He snaps his finger, teleports.
yeah, that is cool.
That might
you, and
help.
you and your teleportation abilities. So, quick sidebar. I have a question, Kevin. I want you to ponder this. I know, I know we're having a battle between Mothra and Master Hand, but who do you think would win between Master Hand and Shang Tsung for Mortal Kombat? They both organize these tournaments.
I mean, that's a good question. I got to give it to Master Hand, man.
Yeah, probably. All right. Sorry, I was just
Shang
curious.
Tsung's like immortal, isn't he?
Shang Tsung?
Yeah. Is
No.
Master Hand immortal? Oh.
I mean, Master Hand might be immortal. They don't really know.
Oh.
Remember this moment.
Okay,
All
are there
right,
more
Dave.
abilities? Because you have this hand can do more things than I thought it would be able to do. I'm gonna admit that.
I have one or two more things, but I'm
Why
gonna.
was Kevin finished with his? Sorry.
Yeah, no, the only because as far as like his own abilities, that's all you got. Like I said, if he partners with Crazy Hand, there's a couple more abilities, but I didn't mark any of those
Now,
down.
do the hands ever
Exclusively.
fight each other? Because that would be
No, no, they only fight with each other.
Oh, it'd be cool if they turned against each other. Which one would win if they turned against each other?
I don't know. Crazy Hand's only been in like 2 games. You don't see him as much.
Well, there's only like 4 Smash Brothers games, right? Total. 2.
I think there's
3. 5.
I think so.
First one, Melee, Brawl, and the newest one.
Super
maybe
Smash
it's one
Brothers
before.
on Switch is the only one I really played. All right, so we have
okay.
our abilities on the table. Steven, do you have more abilities? You'd like to...
There's one thing that if she's partnered with Godzilla.
But there's no
Like I said-
Godzilla, so it doesn't count.
I'll allow.
Well, you
this.
talked about Crazy
I'll allow-
Hand for a minute, so let me just talk.
Overruled. Go
I'm
ahead.
just going to mention it. So one thing really cool, and this would result in her losing, but if she lost, she has this thing called energy dispersal, and like when she dies, this radioactive cloud comes out, and then it empowers Godzilla, so he can become Burning Godzilla, from which he emits like a huge, massive heat beam. So like it's a weird thing where if she dies, she boosts Godzilla. Just kind of a fun little fact.
Godzilla is bad and she's good.
Well, sometimes Godzilla is good. It depends. Like if King Ghidorah is in the mix, Godzilla will fight him because King Ghidorah is a bad dude. I do have one thing I want to just mention here real quick.
Okay, yeah, let's get into your counters.
So you mentioned the ice beams, blow them away, easy. All the physical brawl type of attacks. Yeah, you'd probably beat Mothra up a little bit, but that's one hand. Mothra's got 6 legs, all of which, maybe even 8 legs, I can't remember. But either way, at least triple what Master Hand has of like blade like appendages that could slice and dice. So physical attacks, slice.
I get what you're saying with that, but I feel like Master Hand's more agile. I mean, he's a huge hand that just flies around. He can just go behind her. Like he'll just avoid and dodge those giant legs and then start punching her like gah.
That's when she busts out stuff like the God Rays, man. Just blast.
That's
them.
fine. He teleports out of the way of those. Then he starts shooting his bullet bills.
You mentioned the teleportation, and you've done this to me before with Skeletor versus the Gundam. You're like, teleportation overrules all. And like, yeah, sure, teleport, but he doesn't teleport all the freaking time. It's not like he doesn't do that.
I'm just saying he could teleport out of the way, and he can shoot lasers out of all 5 of his fingers. Lasers. She
Hold
can't
on.
blow my
5
lasers away
fingers,
with her gust of winds. It's a
5
laser.
fingers, 8 legs, 6 to 8 legs. 6 and 8 both beat 5, I think.
But she shoots a big, massive, very destructive laser from her pincers, and she's like way bigger than him. Which I know you're gonna say, well, he's more agile. He can just dodge out of the way because that's just how you are. You like to just
children
get in there. But just saying, her blasts of like leveled buildings, and you talk about him moving platforms around, and he can kind of adjust the earth. No, sir. She's got that tectonic sensitivity. She knows when something's happening. So that platform trick you have would not work with her. She was like, oh, he's moving that underneath here. Oh, let me just move out of the way. Bam.
Steven's coming guns blazing today, man.
I'm just saying, ultimately, she is a moth. And what are moths attracted to? Like light and stuff. He's got his fireballs. He'll shoot his little fireballs out. She's like, ooh, nice.
No,
you go towards the freaking fireballs, and then she'll just burn her up.
She is not a moth, though. She is the goddess Mothra. There's a very big difference there. She's not like going to light like that. She's like really intelligent being who is a guardian and protector of the very earth on which we live, sir. So you cannot just tell me she'll be distracted by some menial little fireball. No. And besides, Godzilla blast fire, she beat Godzilla, so
Steven, you sounded like you were truly offended there. That like someone who's trying to some kind of like comic book nerd that tries to defend their character. Like,
that's what this is all about, man. Me and Mothra.
I'm trying to think of
like the way you were the Constructicons. Me and Mothra, man.
And I'm saying with the Master Hand, he's got his reflective satellite. He set those mirrors up everywhere around Mothra, and then lasers just going back and forth between them, defenseless. Lasers just hitting Mothra all over the place. Mothra cannot get with a bunch of lasers, man.
But you know what she could get with? The mirrors. Easy. Just either she'll smack the mirrors with her like sharp fingers.
Her armor, you said something about armor that she had that couldn't be penetrated. But tell me more about that.
Oh yeah.
I know lasers are powerful. I need to hear more about this armor again.
Hold on, give me a second. I guess I can find my notes here.
Well, while you're finding them, you're getting blasted by lasers and mirrors, so you're pretty much dead.
So she does have this. Her carapace, her body is incredibly strong. It allows her to it's resisted attacks from King Ghidorah and Godzilla. Like this thick skin that she has.
Has it ever faced up against a laser weapon of some kind?
Godzilla's laser beam, for sure.
Oh, see, I forgot
So
monsters.
Step off with your freaking mirror lasers, your trick lasers. You don't even have.
Dude, but that doesn't include her wings.
Master Hand does not even have the gumption to make one big fat laser. He's got to do a bunch of tiny little ones because he doesn't have the ability.
That would make
I'm
it
going to
harder.
tell you how I see this thing playing out.
Not to mention, even for some reason, if the lasers weren't powerful enough to completely destroy her, they're going to mess her up. And he's got the fire. You can freeze her because she's all stunned. Don't forget he's got that spiked metal ball. That's going to do some damage. That's blunt trauma, man. Blunt trauma doesn't matter.
Yeah, but how big is he though? He's so freaking little, dude. It's gonna be like a little flick on her side, but nothing.
Even if you saw an 18-foot giant hand, you wouldn't think it was little.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm a man. This is a giant moth, 180 meters.
Oh, you just said earlier that it wasn't a moth, and now you're saying it's a moth. So which
would be attracted to light? So
this is 180 foot big.
All right. Well,
goddess insectoid creature. All right, like a little flick, a little punch. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Let's take it down a notch, everybody. Order in the court. Now we're running sort of short on time, and I'm intrigued by both these characters, considering I knew Mothra existed, didn't know anything about her. I never really knew that Master Hand existed, or if I did, I forgot because I just learned quickly and then forgot about it. So I've learned a lot about both these characters and the franchises that they represent. Now, before I make my decision, is there anything that you there's lots of, you both know each other's abilities and you both kind of went back and forth, but is there one last, your final argument, something you'd like to say about think about the ability that you're most scared of? Because I know both of you are at least scared of some of the other person's abilities. And how would you defend against that ability? Do you have anything to say in that area? If not, I'm going to tell you why I'm making the verdict I am.
All right, Kevin, you go first. Kevin, you make your final argument.
All right. So a few things here. Number one, he's a little bit smaller than Mothra.
A
He can
little
move
bit
around.
smaller.
Huh?
He's
Yeah,
a
you
little
can-
bit smaller.
It's more than a little bit, but go ahead.
But
Let's
he can
not
move around.
interrupt.
But he's still
Not
a
interrupt.
giant hand, and he can still come in and punch Mothra from all these different directions. And I mean, regardless, that's going to hurt. That's blunt trauma. Blunt trauma can be very much more damaging than penetration trauma. He's got these lasers that can, jack up Mothra's wings. Not to mention he has the fireballs tracking her to the light. I don't care what Steven says. She's a moth.
No, she's more than a moth.
And then not to mention you can just snap his fingers, teleport out of the way of some stuff. Like, I just think overall he's got more variety, more quickness, and
He does
yeah,
have
he's a
lot
little
of
bit.
variety. I'll give him
And,
that.
yeah, he's smaller, but we're looking at both, some significant, very significant blunt trauma. We're also looking at, lasers, and he's got
You and your
like
blunt trauma.
his finger gun where he can like shoot bullets at her. It's just he's got too much going
Yes.
on.
How big is a bullet bill?
I don't know how big. How big is a bullet? It's bigger than. They're pretty big.
Bigger than
But-
Mario when he's in his small state.
But not big enough to
But
make
when he's
really
in
a
his
big difference
state,
on
he's taller than a bullet
Mothra.
bill. I just want to.
Also, David, giant disembodied hand with
Well,
godlike
yeah.
powers.
That's pretty much what I was thinking too. Like with your argument, it's hard to top just the fact that he is what he is. But all right, I appreciate that. Anything else?
Well, let's see. I'm not worried about Mothra's silk between his fire and lasers and stuff like that. That's not going to do anything for him. I just don't think that Mothra
No.
has a lot that can really, like, effectively take out Master Hand.
Okay.
I really don't. Except, I mean, yeah. I really don't think there is anything that can really effectively do it.
All right. Thank you. For
Also,
your-
you can slap him down to the ground and bury her.
Not her. She's so big, dude. All right.
Okay, Steven.
Are
give
you
me your-
done, Kevin? All right. A couple things here. Number one, talk about size ratio. So we compared her to the size of football fields. We said 2 football fields for Mothra, right? Master
One
Hand.
and a half. One and a half.
Okay, whatever. Either way, Master
Yards
Hand.
are smaller than meters. We both said
Master
that.
Hand is 18 feet, right? So we're talking like how many?
That'd be 6 yards.
Yeah, so
Which would be maybe
three
like-
yard line things, and he's way smaller. Well, I'm
Because a
trying to
yard is
say
3 feet. So he would be like a little over 5 meters, right?
yeah, something like that. My math is bad, but he's way small. His little punches and stuff, I don't think are going to do much to her at all. She's just so big. Now,
Okay.
how
How would you defend against these? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The
Transition.
lasers. Tell me about the lasers and bullets. That's what I'm pondering in my head.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, lasers and bullets. Okay, yes, the wings are a little more fragile than her body. But
That's what I was thinking.
she does have her armored carapace, and she also has the wind maneuver, and she has silk, which I think could really Kevin says well, he's not worried about it, but she could wrap that silk around his little fingers, he'd just be a thumb, and
Which you can shoot a laser out of
If
instead of
one instead of
I'm all
five.
thumbs.
Now
Could shoot a laser out of that. She
and
says.
this is where it comes. This is what it comes down to. Mothra is immortal.
So is the Master Hand.
I'm sure
what-
that both can be killed.
No, so
Master
Mothra
Hand gets killed all the time.
Mothra cheats death in every movie. I think every movie, most movies.
Okay, well maybe this
Hold
doesn't
on.
have to fight to the death, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
She lays an egg before she goes into combat and hides it away on Infant Island or wherever. And then when she dies, she's reincarnated in the egg she hatched with the same memories that the other previous form had. So she's never ending. That's why she comes back as many times as she's come back. She her memories are in this her own her child is her. It just repeats it pupates, since we're talking about larvae, on and on and on. And her existence is perpetual.
That's true. There's no reproductive organ on a hand. I'll give you that.
No, but there doesn't have to be because Master Hand is basically immortal. So like with Master Hand, first of all, when you fight him in a game, he's not he doesn't use his complete power because this is for his entertainment, these tournaments, whatever. He's significantly more powerful than he appears in the game.
Is that is that your idea or is that
No, that's specifically stated.
okay? Okay.
So
all right. So
And he's
No,
basically
can I
immortal,
wrap
dude.
this up
Dude,
real
like
quick? 'Cause
he
we're
okay,
going
he
on
created
40.
an entire world just to watch people fight. So he has like a lot of godlike abilities. He is definitely more immortal for sure. I don't think that's not really a factor in this case.
I got a
Did I
quote for
interrupt
you.
you?
I just got to get through. Master Hand has no quotes whatsoever, just for the.
That's true.
Okay.
Master Hand
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have no
Give me a
quotes.
quote. Give me a quote.
All right. Ah!
What was that?
It's like the Mothra sound.
Okay. Are you making that with your mouth?
Yeah, it's my mouth. I'm not like. All right. Yeah, that's all I got quote wise.
Okay. All right. Well, here's my thing. This battle, I feel like would be very amusing to watch. And all I picture is this hand like going around trying all these different things. I'm gonna smack, I'm gonna punch, I'm gonna flick, I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna teleport. I'm going back and forth, back and forth. And I'm sorry, Kevin. I feel like no matter what happens, Mothra's just like, did something tap me? What happened? I don't understand like the picking up Mothra. That wouldn't happen. I apologize. I have all respect for Master Hand, and I think he's awesome, but I don't know what he can do against a giant insect that has armor and lasers and makes hurricane winds. The hurricanes would blow the hand away. It can I think the pushing down on the ground would have some kind of effect, and the spikes maybe, but the spikes wouldn't really do anything to the moths, to the thing's armor. I do like the attracted to the light argument. I'm wondering, not all bugs are attracted to light. Moths are, butterflies maybe are, but I don't, those little midge thing. I don't know, a lot of bugs are attracted to light, but I don't know if all of them, like Mothra might not be, because she's always around bright lights. Well, does she goes to bright lights, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like Master Hand would tire himself out after a while. Like I could
Master Hand never gets tired.
trying like hundreds of different maneuvers, and Mothra's just like just, I don't know. I don't think the hand could beat Mothra. So I will say my if you could use resources, sure, Godzilla, but the Master Hand could pick up any kind of gladiator or any kind of warrior he wanted for this battle, and he could pick up enough where they could gang up on the Mothra and Beaver.
Yeah, Mothra would be done for then.
But I don't see a world where this hand could beat the Moth, even though I wish, or the Mothra, even though I wish it sort of could. So I'm gonna have to give this one to Steven again. I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
You have any?
I do not accept this defeat.
Why don't you
Largely
accept the
because
defeat?
I've been losing a lot lately, and it's starting to get to me.
Both of you have been losing a lot lately, I feel like.
I haven't won in a while, so I just still feel good.
I want the hand to win, but I just see this hand like smacking this thing, flying around. Oh, I'll teleport, I'll come back. But after a while, the lasers that Mothra shoots, or the hurricanes, or the fire coming from the silk, like it wouldn't. I agree, the silk wouldn't be very strong against him, because his laser beams would take because the thumb would still shoot it off. Like the silk.
That's true. That's true.
Heaven has you on that, but that's just one weapon that you have. There's nothing. I don't think that those weapons could hurt Mothra very much. So
It would hurt. It would hurt Mothra's pride, though.
I feel like here's what I picture, dude. Do you know? I'm gonna take this to a human level. Do you know when you have like a fly buzzing around you, and you get really annoyed with the fly, and you're like swiping it, trying to kill it, hit it? So Mothra might not be able to catch the Master Hand at first. You're right about that, but I think eventually she would catch it. But that's what I feel like. Just an annoying. Like it's kind of the opposite. Instead of a bug bothering a human, it's like a human appendage bothering a giant bug. And the bug just like flick, 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 oh, pound, punch. I do love all those slaps so much, though. Like I love the name of them. I love what they can do, and I love just seeing them in my mind happen. I got to play Super Smash Brothers now, or watch my kids play it so I can see them fight Master Hand. So I do love that, but I just picture it like opposite of what we are when we have a fly or a gnat that's bugging us, and we're just pushing it out of the way. So,
well, thank you, Dave.
It's gonna have to go to Mothra. I'm sorry.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
I knew I should have bribed you.
I did bribe Dave, saying if you let me win, I'll buy him a giant pretzel. But
I realized though, we didn't use flight a whole lot in this battle. And
that's
I was hoping,
true. I would say Master Hand's primary mode of transportation is flight.
Same as Mothra,
yes.
yeah.
But I picked
it's
flight.
Kind of like assume that is
I
going to
knew
have it
none
in
of
this
you would
bag.
pick Superman or Thor or something, but I was assuming it would be like maybe Starscream or someone like that, like where flight would be an important part of the battle. These two, I guess for Master Hand, he's got to fly around, but for Mothra, flight isn't always an important part of the battle. So it didn't really turn out how I thought, but it was still fun. Well, thank you all for joining us on this edition of Unlikely Throwdown. And every time we have an Unlikely Throwdown, I feel like the next one is even more unlikely. In one case, I guess this would be a little more likely because Master Hand fly. But no, I never would have thought of either of these characters fighting each other. So I enjoyed it. I hope all of you did too. Steven has a little information about our next round of these throwdowns, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
All right, so we actually had a couple listener submissions. So the next round's going to be, we're going to go through those. So I think there's 3 or 4 of them. So we're pretty excited. So that's going to carry us through the end of the year and into the new year actually as well. So pretty excited to try those out. If you're interested in sending your own submission, you can send us a message on our email, which is brothersbornpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, brothersbornmedia.com, and send us a message that way. We're throwing some other things out there. We're on YouTube now. Yeah, both our podcasts, this one and Brothers Born podcast, are on YouTube, as well as a couple of Twitch streams that I did of some spooky games in October, and a couple other things. So check out some of that stuff. And Kevin did a blog post recently, so we got some things developing. So check it out.
I'm working on another blog post actually, but it's going to take me a while to finish it.
But hang out with us, check out our website, enjoy our podcasts, and please share it with your friends. Catch you all next time.
Yes.
Adios. Mamma mia.
What are you doing?
Shut up. It's my turn to judge.